Okay, sorry for the delay there. We're still working on how to work with our video editing equipment here, so we haven't quite got this down to the fine art that it should be. I've had one of my customers request a recording of the Spitfire Mark One, which we have here. This is an invention of or the design was done by Mr. Mitchell in Britain, of course. And you see its typical outlay here. It was designed primarily as a short-range interceptor. Uh, has good maneuverability. In fact, just short of great maneuverability. Very effective firepower. It's kind of on the vulnerable side of the spectrum of aircraft here. Let's talk about the upgrades. As it originally comes, you're going to get 8 303 Browning machine guns, and you'll have the Spitfire 1 platform, and you'll have the Merlin 2. By the time you work through all this, you get a faster, better, like you do with all of them. But your main thing is you get your 220 millimeters here, you get your Spitfire frame here, and this gives you a lot of speed. And you can tell the difference is drops 22 kilometers per hour here. You use another 10 here, so you're down to 37, so forth and so on. This is a major upgrade too. You want to get that as quickly as possible. We haven't added any equipment because, frankly, these aircraft change out too quickly for me to invest very heavily in them in that regard. So, let's move along, shall we? We'll get into the battle, talk a little bit about it, and we'll talk about the maneuverability of the Spitfire, which is just short of the Japanese. Some of the Russian fighters might be as nimble, might be just a little more nimble. The Japanese fighters are going to be more nimble. You don't want to get into turning contests with them, but you can dive faster and you can climb faster than either of them. That gives you certain escape envelopes that you can exploit. And your firepower is much better than the Japanese. They don't typically the Japanese. You get the ones I've used so far are up to tier 5. You get a few seconds and then it overheats. So you have to, blip, 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 blip to get any sort of good use out of it. You guys have your forward airstrip, which is very close to us, and command centers. And I had later in the video we'll talk about how to win, since I came up with one of my subscribers. He just did not understand how we won. He had done better than everybody else, and he didn't win. His team didn't win, and he didn't understand why. So we'll go over that briefly so that everybody understands. What we're going to do now is hopefully I'll have a few people want to go with me, and I'm breaking the rules here. I normally will not go away from the crowd, but I feel like this airfield is really important to the map. So I'll run over here, try to get this done very quickly, and then go back with the rest of the team. Now this is the 3 split, which is actually turning into a 2 split. Hopefully the other guy will wise up and won't go solo to a cap point, but we'll see what happens. And we came in above our robo fighters here. Go ahead and take advantage of that. The maneuverability on this is quite superb. And as always, we want to protect our teammates as much as possible, stay out of their arcs of fire. I now have an enemy on my tail. We'll use a little bit of boost to get out of the way and come back around. And you notice when you use boost how quickly that nose blipped around. You can use it to very sparingly, and that takes care of that. You have another one below us here at 3,000 feet, but he's already disappeared. We have the base, and now we can go help our teammates. And they have got their base. Now, let's gain a little altitude, since having some altitude in hand is never a bad thing. Join our teammates. and see what may be accomplished here. Now they have locked down 2 bases. We have locked down 2 bases. And we're going to have to tussle this out in the center. And I see a singleton playing around here. This is your preferred target, people. There's very little chance of being shot down, especially at this speed. We're pushing right around 360 miles an hour. Quickly take him out. And we've avoided a furball, which I like best of all. Anytime you can pick off lone Charlies, you want to do that. You know, so once again, we're already well, never mind there. I thought somebody was going to pick us up, and they didn't. And I finally overheated my cannons. Give it a few seconds, come back around. Now, with the Spitfire, the closer you are, under 1,500 square feet, you actually get to a point where your machine guns come into play and you're much more efficient at it. And we got boom and zoom behind us. We're going to check their W, make sure there's nobody behind us here. And Amos is the P-38F is going to, he's the king of boom and zoom. He's got a very long boost. He's going to come around and he's going to want to shoot us, and we're just going to scoot out of the way. And he's going to go back to his boom and zoom game, which would be okay. But you notice we're now in this cross stitch with a third aircraft behind us. This is the recipe for disaster in World of Warplanes. You get 3 separate aircraft working against you. Your chances of, and you're solo, your chances of survival are slim and none, as you just saw. Avoided several attacks, but it wasn't enough. So we're going to respawn. We did get the fighter base. We're going to use that. Spawn there, save ourselves some time, and try to be a little smarter. We do have 2 air bases we are collecting that we totally control, so we're doing fine in that regard. But we're not doing so well in the respawn department. They've got 3 aircraft there. We need to take this base to secure, dominance, secure our capture points, and finish up here. Now you'll notice that the dive on this is very respectable. You'll notice also that one of our teammates is in trouble. We're going to get on that as quickly as possible. I'm going to dissuade this gentleman that he really doesn't want to kill our teammate. In fact, we did better than that, and we killed him. Alright, now as to maneuverability. Notice that we snap right around, use a little boost, and we're right on the fellow. And I have a fighter on my tail. We're going to come back very quickly.
Receiving reports about rapidly deteriorating weather conditions.
And once again, let's get on and try to save our teammate. Or avenge our teammate, as the case may be. We're going to dive down a little bit below this fellow. Seems to be my day for shooting bow fighters. zoom in a little bit so we can get our attack dead on to the fellow. And I see that we're passing under somebody, which means we're about to be attacked.
Keep it up. Victory is
All
almost ours. That's it. There's no way to break through for you now. You're on your own.
And that works as well as anything, I guess. And hopefully our engine will come back online here. And we got operation again. We restored some hit points. And we're going to have to see what we can do to get our base back. Or take another base. Okay. This IL-2 is a heavy hitter. You do not want to get anywhere near his front cannon because he will waste you. And because he's got so much survivability, you're not going to have any problem at all fixing you up. So we're going to attack him from beneath where he's got zero ability to do anything about it. Stay on him, and that finishes that.
Bomber squadron detected. Engage them immediately.
I see that our other base is under attack. We're going to head right back over there. The speed on this is actually pretty good, provided you're not trying to climb all the time. You will quickly come up
Great job
and win the
today.
game.
We'll be waiting
All
for
right,
you
so
back
this has
home.
worked out very well for us. I got the hat trick, which means I killed one of every type out there. Flying start and effective fire. Back to the hangar. You can see the summary. Personal score, 5, 3 assists, 1 sector captured. Came in about mid-level. All right, so a question came, and I guess we haven't done a real good job, the content provider community, of how do you win a game. All right. And it never occurred to me that anybody would actually ask the question, but somebody did, and that tells me that we as content providers aren't giving answers to people. So each one of the bases that you fight at gives you 3 influence per second. When you reach 1,000 points, you win, or when your enemy wins 1,000, gets 1,000 points, they win. So you can shoot down aircraft all day long, but if you don't have enough capture points, and they do, you're still going to lose. And that's never been explained to anybody very well, I don't think. Most of us figured it out anyway, but just by watching the score counters. But I had a user just totally flummoxed by that. And he'd shot down all sorts of aircraft. He'd outscored me 2-1, and he still lost. Well, if you shoot down aircraft outside the cap zone, you're not helping your team much. Not unless you already have a cap lead, in which case shooting down aircraft probably does help your team. Eventually the other side can run out of aircraft, but you will usually run out of time long before the other side runs out of aircraft. So that's the short and dirty version of how to win a game. You want those caps, you want as many caps under your control as you can get, and you fight for caps. All right. If you're behind and you're not in the cap with some of your buddies trying to contest for another cap or defend your cap, you're wasting your time and you're hurting your team. And so that should have been made very clear to people to begin with. This is how you win. These are the parameters by which you win, and so forth. Hope that helps. I hope this was a good video for you, and I wanted to thank you for watching. Please click the like if you do like the video, and by all means subscribe. I'm a new content provider. If you want more of my content, please subscribe. I can use all the help you can give me. Appreciate you. Have a great day.